Hi, welcome to the Ransomware Defender for Dell ECS Smart Airgap demo. We're going to walk through the solution and do a quick demo. So we've got ECS storage, we've got an ECS sync server configured with the pre-job trigger. We'll go through that in a second. In this solution, you have dual interfaces. You'll have an air-gapped ECS on the right. You'll have the production ECS on the left. And you will have a script or an API-enabled ECS sync. So let's take a look at that configuration right now. So here's the ECS sync GUI, and this is running a new version. So we'll take a look at the job that's been configured. So it's going to run this script. This is new, so pre-check script is right here. We'll take a look at that script in a second. Just doing a simple demo. We're going to copy data from one bucket to another. In this case, it's actually on the same ECS, but just for this example, we'll show how this solution works and configure the rest of the default settings here. So bucket 1 to bucket 2, and there's the schedule. So now let's take a look at that script. And we'll just show how simple that is to configure. So we'll cat script. So it's going to run an API request, and it's going to check with Ransomware Defender and see if there's any active threats against the production ECS. If there is, it's going to return a search result that says there's a threat detected. It's going to log it. It's going to throw an exit code of 1, which is greater than 0, which will abort that scheduled job. If not, it's going to log that it's okay to proceed, and that job will finish. So let's go take a look at how we can get this to work with a working solution. So we're just going to set this schedule to run at the next scheduled interval, and I'll just update that. So it's now scheduled. So we'll sit and wait for that to run, and then we'll take a look at the logs and we'll see what happened. While we're doing that, we'll take a look at the buckets. So we've got some data sitting in bucket 1. There's nothing in bucket 2, so that sync should sync that across, because right now there's no active threat. So we'll actually go log into Ransomware Defender. We'll take a look there. Here, and no active threat. So we can actually run this script by hand just to take a look at what it's going to do. So there's no threat right now. So it ran, and we'll cat that log, and it says no threat, sync object. So if the scheduled job had run right now, it would have proceeded because there's no issue in running. See here, at the scheduled time, the job ran. One file was copied. That's what we expect. And we can see it sitting here in bucket 2. And if we take a look at the script, no threat, objects synced. So that's a normal scenario. So let's configure the threat scenario. So we'll set up the schedule, make it run. And just for the simplicity, we'll go ahead and delete this file so there's nothing in this bucket. So that's the target. There's nothing there. Go back to eyeglass. And there currently is a threat. So that's what we want. There's an active threat listed. And this should cause that script to detect the failure condition, which means there's an active threat. And we can decide if that threat is a critical, major, or minor. We can decide if it's okay to proceed with a warning. So that's really up to the configuration to decide that. But so we'll go here. We will archive this old job, so it's gone. And it's all set for the next execution. And we'll come back and check and see what happened. And you'll notice there's no active jobs. There's no history here. So that looks like the job didn't run. and we'll confirm we still have an active threat. And we'll just take a look at the log and see what we see. So exactly at 2010, that script ran, threat detected, and sync aborted. So this shows how easy it is to configure and set up a smart Airgap ECS sync deployment. This is using a new version that is not yet released, but wanted to go through how simple it is to deploy an Airgap solution for ECS and smart Airgap enable it. And we'll be talking more about how we'll bring this to the market. But you can see this is a complete end-to-end solution that gives you real-time data protection and intelligence to avoid copying data when it's not safe to do so.